February 27th. Crazy. We had a frost this morning when I got up for the gym, but I'm looking around and it's just so odd that there are flowers blooming on trees. I think it's early even for Tennessee because everything's a little bit earlier down here. The weirdest, craziest thing is that at the house, there's a lot of, maybe on my lawn too, I hadn't noticed, but there's a few lawns that have dandelions. But I'm not talking yellow dandelions, I'm talking the aftermath of dandelions, you know, I don't know, what do you call those? I don't know, after they turn into like the seedlings and you can, you know, blow them, the little white feathery ones when they become seedlings or whatever. But I mean, so we've already had dandelions grow in the grass and then turn. So it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy early down here right now, I think. I am so like routine orientated. Oh, look at can you see look at all the dandelions. I just think that's crazy. Anyways, I am so routine. I am so like a creature of habit. Like I left the house today and I forgot my wallet and my sunglasses. Sunglasses I forget all the time because over the weekend I'll put them in the Durango when we're driving and doing stuff, and then I always forget them in there. My wallet, like last night we had basketball practice, so I had my wallet in a Durango, and then when I got out I put it on the kitchen counter with my sunglasses, and I kept going, you know what? I better put these in either the bathroom or on my desk in the bedroom or I'm gonna forget. And I'm like, nah, I won't. And I sure as hell did. So made it like halfway to work and then had to turn around and come back and get my wallet. Okay, so yesterday I talked about Vero, which is a new social media app. Well, since then, aside from it being almost impossible to post anything or log in or anything, there's been some internet stuff going around about how they're pretty shady. So I want to read you guys this thread and then I'll give you my opinion on it. This is from a verified account, Pasquale Di Silvia. And the way I saw this is I followed Peter McKinnon, and Peter McKinnon tweeted iJustine and said, basically, I hear some shady stuff going on about Vero. Were you able to delete your account? And then I went to her account and saw that she was trying to delete her Vero account. And then once I dug a little bit deeper to see why she was trying to delete it, I found that she had mentioned this thread. The first one is Vero built by squad of Russian developers, FYI. And then it's got a gif of Vladimir Putin's head dancing on a crab, which I don't know what that is. And then from there he says the thread is, it's got a picture of all the engineers, the product engineers, which I don't understand what that has to do with anything. The creative director's dribble profile. Founder is a Lebanese billionaire heir. Again, I don't know what that has to do with anything. And I'm just going to read his full thread. One of 23 employees listed as female. CEO's dad was Prime Minister of Lebanon. Here's some more info about the CEO's other company. Pretty effed up, to be honest. And then he linked just a screenshot of something. First 1 million users get free subscription for life, in quotations. Social networks are expensive to run. Maybe the Russian salaries are cheap, but 23 employees already. How many paid subscribers will they need? How much will a subscription cost for them to break even? If there is rich billionaire Pappy is paying, probably not the big deal cash-wise, but what's his incentive? The premise is he wants a new social media app because he's bored. Endless supply of helicopters not cutting it for you, buddy. This guy sounds like he's just mad. Founder's father was a Lebanese business tycoon and a prime minister of Lebanon from 92 to 98, and again from 2000 until his resignation in October 2004. Was assassinated in 2005. Hariri was considered as the principal actor in a widespread corruption that plagued Lebanon during the Syrian occupation. His wealth grew from less than 1 billion to over, when he died, 16 billion. Vero seems legit with the thinking emoji. A social network for anyone who loves anything enough to share it, in quotation. Finally, a social network to share content on. And then he's got a screenshot of, it just says that it's just their tagline. The whole thing is shady AF. Let's hope you don't get assassinated for knowing how to Google. There's a lot of information out there. Surprised this hasn't surfaced sooner. The more I read, the more I realize it shouldn't be a stretch to call the CEO's previous actions heinous. Abandoned in Saudi desert camps, migrant workers won't leave. He linked an article. Many of my tweets in this thread are just straight up facts, and you can find on Google, by the way. You don't need me to tell you this is a disaster. Sidebar. Surprised they didn't get the legit AF Russian icon designers to work on Vero. Remember soft facade icons of photorealistic plums? 90% of this, I don't know what he's talking about. I encourage you to do your own homework and report back to this thread, by the way. There's some pretty light digging. Maybe they're legit, but maybe I'm gonna go with nah. Not sure who the artist who created this GIF was, just came up in search. It's really good. I like seafood. Okay. I just did a radio interview for Triple J Australia about this thread. Heads up, failing New York Times, I'm a reporter now. Did you know that displaying posts in chronological order uses an algorithm? Did you know that generating the popular feed requires mining data? Then he posts, it's a screenshot, says smarter feed. There are no ads on Vero, just post you want to see. This always means no algorithm and no data mining ever. Yeah, so like I said, that's what this guy said. One, these are my thoughts, and I haven't done much digging on it, but one, if this dude's father was shady, I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea that the son is shady. You know, he could be his own person. Two, just because it's a Russian developer group, it's something bad. You know, again, I don't think you should classify a whole group of people, no matter what they are, as evil or whatever just because they are one thing or another. So just because it's a whole group of Russians that came up with this app does not mean that it's shady AF. You know, and like I said, I just don't understand how somebody can do a couple little Google searches and then put this thread out, and then you get, I don't think it's a snowball effect yet because I've only seen it a few places, but in the tech community, you get someone like iJustine or a Peter McKinnon with large, huge followings, questioning the validity of something just from a tweet storm. Like this dude's thread, who I don't know who he is. Let's take a look at his profile. Doesn't say anything in his profile. I don't know who this guy is. I just think it's pretty irresponsible to just put out there that something is not legit. And like I said, this thing may not be legit. I have no idea. But there's no proof that it is or isn't. The only proof right now is that people are flocking to the social media site and it is not ready for it. It's a horrible site. I can't get it to load any posts for me. It took me half a day yesterday after I did the video because I still couldn't post anything, so I deleted the app, reloaded it. It took me half the day to log in, and then once I logged in, I still couldn't post. So say what you want about it being crappy, them not being ready, their servers not being able to handle it, all that kind of stuff, but to just irresponsibly say that they're linked to this or they're this or this is this just because the dude's father who runs it was a billionaire, okay, and that their Russian developers came up with it. You know, like, I think there should be a distinction there that none of that stuff matters. The app seems to be shit. That seems to be the issue. The rest of it, not so much. The last thing I'll bring you guys about this Vero, iJustine's tweets. So like I said, it looks like she just saw somebody sent her this dude's tweets and she jumped on board, which like I said, I just think it's irresponsible, but but again, they could be 100% right. I just, without proof or anything, it's just speculation. I just think it's very stupid. So her first tweet was Vero sucks. And then, I don't know if somebody sent her this dude's thread, but then she said, all you guys praising Vero may want to take a time out. Here's a great thread with some background. I'm also trying to delete my account, but I don't know if I can. With a couple emojis, of course. And then she, you know, tweeted that dude's thread that I read. This seems shady from the first second I signed up. Really? And then she put a screenshot of deleted. It says deleted the account. Delete account is the question mark on your profile. And then it says this. It should say thanks, your account is now deleted. Not make me wait to see if it's okay with you first. And then she had a screenshot that says your request has been sent. We will reply to you as soon as possible. Please check. And she must have blacked out her email address for our response. She quoted herself saying you got, you know, the one where she showed the dude's thread because she started getting some backlash from, you know, Russian people and stuff like that saying, hey, what the hell? And she said, and to clarify, I think she meant to say this, but it says his. has little to do with Russians than where the money is coming from. Heart, heart. I was just sharing the post for the background on this app, and to be careful if you signed up or are planning on it. It does not seem like a place I would want to share my data. Again, there's nothing on here that says anything about data. She says background on the app, and really it says nothing about the app that she shared except for that they're Russian developers and the dude's dad was a billionaire and his dad may have been shady. And then she retweeted somebody's that says it's a screenshot of Vero's terms, and it says, pretty much it says that they own whatever you put up and they can sell it or do whatever they want. I don't really think that's anything new. I'm not sure what the terms on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook are, but I thought they had sort of the same thing. And that's really all that's where she sort of ended it there. But I went through some of her replies and she was getting a little bit of crap for basically just saying this is a shady app because it's made by Russians. Anyways, I just think you do yourself a disservice. You do, especially if you have a large platform, you do your fans a disservice by just lumping people in and, you know, having this much information and then making this grand declaration about something. Just my 2 cents.